I hate sitting next to you.
Why? What? What if I just snuggled up with you?
Oh, God.
I just brought my microphone over. I extended this arm.
I have a pop filter I found when I was cleaning my office. I'm like, I'm putting that on Kelly's microphone today. Hi, I'm Olivia.
And I'm Kelly, and this is a Court of Theories podcast,
where we deep dive all things ACOTAR, Throne of Glass, and Crescent City.
This podcast contains spoilers.
Would you like to record this episode for not the first time, not the second time, but for the third time?
Thrice.
Thrice. I have asked you thrice to record this episode.
And we have, unsuccessfully.
This is round 3.
After this, we're just going to take ourselves out back and off ourselves.
Okay, if this one doesn't work, the show's over. Forget about it.
Thank you guys for listening.
It was fun while it lasted, but we are just fucking done.
Yep. And she probably killed me. Like, straight up off me.
Or myself. I don't know. Anyways.
Both of us at the same time. If we go out, we go out together.
Once again, just like the second attempt, we are out of our element again. We're in Hutchison HQ with a different setup. We had to move away from our setup last time because the air freshener tried to kill Kelly.
Yep.
She had an allergic reaction for 3 days. She just now has her voice back.
Like, I came home and I was like, hey, Casey, I just want you to know that I'm having an allergic reaction. And he said, great. That was all he said. And I was like, okay. And so I couldn't take a Benadryl because then I wouldn't have woke up in time for swim practice. And my mom has been picking me up all week to take me, because not that I'm a child, but because we both coach and it's on the way. And she was like, I would have had to bust down your door. She was like, I don't think I would have been okay if you had not answered, if time went on, and Red would have just been like, my mommy's dead. Like, so we're sitting at Christmas trying to do a white elephant, which was mediocre at best, like subpar.
Nobody loved your bacon?
My brother-in-law loved my bacon.
Oh, he did. Did he get it?
Yeah, he stole it. Yeah. Actually, it was Casey's actual brother. So not my sister-in-law's husband.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then he actually even broke them up because it was 15 pounds of bacon. They have to drive 7 hours with 15 pounds of bacon to go back home. His wife was the one that opened it, and she was not pleased. She was like, bargain bacon? I was like, listen, because in the blocks, that's what it is. First off, there is no quote bargain bacon. I'm sorry. Have you seen how much fucking meat is in general? Makes me almost want to be a vegetarian until I eat that bacon. And then I'm like, nope, sticking it out.
Well, I realized earlier that both soups I made for book club are vegetarian. And to be honest, they're actually vegan as well.
Wait, the tortilla soup doesn't have chicken in it?
No.
Oh, I mean, I'm cool with that. I don't give a shit, but
I mean,
also happy book club day.
We could have.
I mean, it's too late now.
Yeah.
A little late. Usually like to top it off with chicken right at the start.
I mean, I could probably throw some together and shred it.
Nah, that's too much fucking trouble. We're barely going to get this done.
Yep. Okay.
Anyways, so yeah, but he broke down the 15 pounds into smaller portions. Then it was easier to travel home because those are solid 5-pound blocks each. Yeah. I mean, I was actually upset that I wasn't offered any made, but whatever. You know what? Neither here nor there. And
you gave the gift and you were upset that they didn't
give
you back. So, okay, let's hurry up. We don't have that much time. Let's talk about this shit. So,
oh my God.
Before we talk about our theories today, do you want to hear my little blurb about Appalachian Reddit?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not going to drag this out or anything, but I do want to tell you because it's open on my laptop and it's funny. So the other night when I was texting you over and over and over, hey, I want to talk to you about stories. I have a story idea, blah, blah, blah. And you just ignored me until the next day.
Mm-hmm. As usual.
Yeah. I was doing some research on Reddit and I was on Appalachia Reddit, of course. And I saw this post asking people about to share their folk remedies. Share what you're comfortable with of folk remedies, witchery, charms, and family superstitions, which I love. Which, okay, I wanted to know those kinds of things for story reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like going through looking at these. And, you know, some of them are like, you never sit anything physically on the family Bible. Never put your purse on the floor or you'll never have any money. Stuff like that. Blinds have to be shut when the sun goes down. That kind of like superstitious kind of stuff. So this person is like, my mom always used nutmeg and milk as a cure for diarrhea. Someone else says, nutmeg by itself will stop the diarrhea, but too much of it will cause hallucinations and feelings of dissociation. And someone else replies, sounds like a win-win. So you get to stop shitting yourself and go on a little trip.
You know,
if you need a vacation,
yeah,
have some nutmeg.
So just to think about that. So my grandma was really superstitious, like really, like she was just a little bit stitious. You're welcome.
Thank you.
One of the things so we could never open up umbrellas indoors.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. So then I was terrified about, what if it's raining? Well, you have to stick the umbrella outside the door to open it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, which makes sense logistically, but also you're like, oh my God. You couldn't walk under ladders. And if a black cat crossed your path, which I never told her about Jax, so she knows now from heaven above that I have a black cat at home.
There you go.
And then for her, $2 bills were unlucky. You couldn't touch them. And I'm sure that there's a plethora of others, but those are the ones, the under the ladder one. Oh, you can't step over somebody's legs.
I've never heard that.
Yeah. It's supposedly bad luck. And so then if you do it, you have to step back over them. If somebody's sitting on the couch and has their feet up on the coffee table.
Can reverse the curse.
Yes. She's like, no, you got to go back. I'm like,
okay.
It's like spinning around the other way. I know. Listen, R.I.P. She was a wonderful woman. Had some weird stitions though. Yeah, sitting next to you is weird.
Yeah, I hate this.
Do you want to move?
No.
Okay.
We just got to get this done.
Okay, sorry. Hi. For the third time. I am miserable.
Okay, so there's this theory, and I was looking into stuff about Jesiba, and then I saw a TikTok video from Creative LBD on TikTok, and she has actually, her whole account is full of SJM theories, which was pretty interesting. But she had one talking about connections between Tamlin and Jesiba. And at first I was like, this feels like a stretch. But then as she was saying it.
Assholes.
Huh?
Both being assholes.
Yeah. She was saying that like Jesiba, of course, has the ability to shift people into animals.
Mm-hmm.
And so does Tamlin.
Right.
And as far as we know, nobody else has the ability to shift someone else into something else.
Right.
I think all of Tamlin's were wolves. As far as we know.
As far as we know.
And Jesiba does the whole gamut. This is hard.
You're doing great.
Bryce and Danica is the best love story SJM has ever written. No.
No, it's not. But
Fuck Danica.
But I definitely feel like that we are not on the same level with the rest of the fandom on like their love for Danica.
I don't love Danica.
I don't love Danica. I mean, obviously she's very self-driven, but she didn't love Bryce in the same way.
I feel like I'm not saying she didn't care for Bryce, but I feel like her way of loving Bryce was also very self-motivated.
And bullshit.
I wouldn't do the things she did to Bryce to somebody that I love.
So me?
For one thing, there's no way in the world that Danica didn't realize tattooing that horn into Bryce's back, first of all, without consent. I fucking hate non-consent. That is bullshit in every realm.
Right. And it's not even consent, non-consent trigger. Like it is, in like a dark romance. It's legit like, hey, we're going to go get friend tattoos.
That was deception and like
yes.
one of the worst forms. There is no possible way that Danica did not see that as putting a literal target on Bryce's back.
Right.
For one, we don't know it at the time. Or I guess I didn't put it together at the time about like her being starborn and that's why she could do that.
Right.
So it's like Danica knows she's starborn.
Yeah.
Danica knows only the starborn can use the horn.
Right.
Danica knows that she's, yeah, I mean.
Because she can smell it. She can smell what she is.
Does she think that putting that in there, they won't kill her because they'll need her to open gates and stuff? It doesn't matter
you
what
also
she
just
thought.
like set her up to be like a tool used in the war that is impending to come over.
Without her consent.
Exactly.
She did a lot without her consent. So I just don't.
There was just way too much deception. And I think that's why we don't stand for that.
And I don't like Danica for that reason.
Right. Right.
You just cannot treat people that you. I just don't get that.
Because it's like Fury is very much. It fires me up. Well, Fury's very much like, okay, I'm going to disassociate and disconnect myself if I need to. She's pretty upfront about who she is and what she cares about and what her motives are. Even if other things are mysterious, you're like, Fury is clearly going to put whoever it is that she works for in those missions top tier. Where like Danica was like, oh no, I'm the loving friend and I love you and well, quote unquote love you, because she doesn't ever really say it, but like twice ever in their friendship.
Deceptive, but also manipulative because she knew how much Bryce loved her.
Yes,
and
exactly.
she used that against her, and I fucking hate that.
I fucking hate it so much. And she knew exactly what she was, especially her being the bloodhound, being able to sniff all of that out, especially with her and Rune. And so then to just like play dumb for that entire time, because that's what she was doing, was just playing dumb. And then she's like, oh, you know what? And then she had this masterful plan that directly affected Bryce that she didn't even fucking tell her about. If I found out something about you that was masterful.
I mean, if Bryce hadn't been where she was and had access to that Godslayer rifle, Micah would have literally murdered her.
Yes.
Danica set her up for that.
Yes.
If Danica hadn't done that to, which obviously there wouldn't be a story, but if Danica hadn't done that to her, Bryce would have no involvement in any of this. She involved Bryce in something that she was completely clueless about.
Right, because of
every angle is just
what
bad.
she is and who she is.
All of Bryce's friends fucking suck while we're just on the subject.
Yeah, they really do.
Like you said, Fury is going to put literally everything above her. Fury was placed there.
Yes.
Someone knows about Bryce.
Yes.
Fury was placed there.
Which we'll talk about in the episode, some theories I have for that.
Mission. Okay.
Right.
And then Juniper,
I hate her,
slapping Bryce in the fucking face at the White Raven while she's literally bleeding from her ears.
Sends me.
Kills me. I commented, I'm going to pull it up because it fires me up so bad. I commented.
How stupid Juniper is?
Yes. I commented on a Facebook post about that in an SJM like discussion group or whatever. Somebody being like, Bryce's friends kind of suck.
And you're like, facts.
Yeah, they're actually terrible. Jennifer says, Crescent City has a couple of characters that make me go, and it's like the side-eye emoji. But for whatever reason, Juniper is one of the biggest ones. I don't know why it bothers me, but that she wasn't able to be there for Bryce like she should. But every time I reread it, it gets worse. I don't know. What say ye? So I commented and I said, Juniper is the worst. I cannot get over her first reaction to Bryce after the bombing was to slap her across the face. I can't imagine what it would take for me to hit one of my friends. And she agrees. Yes, the nerve. She's got blood leaking out of her ears and your first reaction was to slap her. The fuck? And
it was her initial reaction to cover you, not because it had anything to do with the fact that she hadn't done the drop.
And someone else replies to me, and I'm not going to say this person's name, but I'm not even going to read it word for word. Essentially, she was just like, if I had that much of a chance of getting hurt and risked myself over my friend and then they slapped me, I probably wouldn't like it, but I would understand. And I'm like, I would never put my hands on somebody I love, so that's just absolutely a no from me.
Right.
And then she replied him and she was like, the slap was not warranted, but I've had a couple friends slap me in the past and I was mad at the time, but now I understand it and I see it. And I'm like, actually, you've been abused twice.
Right. So
I don't know how you've rationalized that to yourself, but it's not okay either way.
No. And
anyways.
And the fact that first off,
Bryce's friends fucking suck.
Bryce's friends fucking suck, but also clearly that person's friends fucking suck. I'm sorry, there is absolutely nothing that I talk about I could just slap the shit out of you or whatever, especially given, but that's not.
How many times do we threaten each other each episode? But to literally hit you with the intent of hurting you or something?
No.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Never in my life. We got to go on or else
we got to move on.
We got to move on.
Get better friends, y'all. If your friends are slapping you across the face, get some better fucking friends.
Right? We're not playing like tennis, where you're slapping hands and,
It's not it.
That's not it. That's
I
not
don't even
where
remember
it's
where I
at.
was going with this. I'm so pissed off.
What? TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
We got
Where'd
it.
go?
We'll reel it back
Tamlin.
in.
We're talking about Tamlin.
Tamlin, which also...
So, yes. So, creative LBD is like, Tamlin and Jesiba can both shift people. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And then this girl, Sarah, comments on her post. So, Sarah says, it makes him being alone in the spring court feel especially sad if he was meant to be part of a group, because people are like, oh, is Tamlin a wolf?
Right.
Because if you think about Tamlin's beast form, it's described as like very wolfish with two large horns out of his head. And also, what do the pack of devils have tattooed on themselves?
Exactly. Tamlin.
A horned wolf.
Tamlin.
But yes, Tamlin, essentially.
Oh my God, they're tam stands.
Tam stands. They got their
tam stamps.
Stamps.
They're tam stamps.
That's what I was trying to say. You got
They got their tam stamps.
Yeah.
Oh God, what if
tam stamps? Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. What if that was a lower back tattoo?
That's fucking awesome.
Oh my God, can we have tam stamps? No,
but
no, not even if we were in a drunken stupor would we.
But if you think about, I never made that connection until I read that comment, and I was like, okay, that's a good one.
No, that is a really good one.
Because the prime, maybe one of the wolves talks about like how the wolves are not what they used to be. They've lost a lot of what they were, whatever. So it's like drawing connections between the universes or the worlds or timelines or whatever it is. We don't really know.
They are like, whenever Tamlin does change his centuries over, they're fucking massive wolves.
What color eyes does Danica have? Do we care?
No, we
Not
don't.
really, but-
Do we care? No, absolutely, we do not. But that might be pertinent. Why do I feel like
I sent you a message not that long ago of a picture of my eyeball, and I was like, I got those Tamlin eyes. Because I do. I've got. How are his described? Like green with gold or something?
Yeah, I actually think that Sass on the gram, I think that she has like a full cosplay theory thing of, what is it, Tamlin and Lysandra's eyes, and
I don't know what color Danica's eyes are.
Caramel in color, almost golden.
Color. Tamlin's are definitely green and gold.
Yeah, because it's spring court with the golds and stuff. And it sends me a little bit because he almost has Terracin eyes, like the greens and the golds, and
yes, because people have linked him to Adian and Lysandra.
Yeah,
is that what you just said?
Well, that Sass had a video like that.
Okay,
I didn't directly say that.
Okay.
So you know what, you nailed that conclusion.
Okay, thank you.
You did a good job.
Anyways,
you did a good job.
I have Tamlin's eyes.
You do, and a tam stamp. That's the name of this episode. Tam stamps. Oh, is that all you have for me, right?
I don't remember where I was going with this at all.
Just the way. Also, us sitting next to each other.
It's like really throwing me off.
Do you? Never mind. I already asked you, and you said no aggressively. No. And then I'm all like lean back. I'm gonna throw my feet up on the table here in a minute.
I can't even read these notes. I don't love tablet. I feel like Tamlin has so much trauma. I do feel like that.
Descript literally thinks that we're a bunch of hillbillies.
It's not wrong.
I mean,
but it doesn't have to be so offensive about it.
Right? Also, sometimes when I am telling something, so I'll go through and cut out, like the dead air. Do you know that sometimes sentences that I say, it does not register it as real words? I'll be like, wait, where did the rest of this conversation go? And so then I'll restore the media. And it's 9 times out of 10, me talking.
And
Like
he just
I'm
deletes
background
it.
noise. It's like, blah, 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 blah.
It's wow, this has gone on for a really long time.
That bitch just
This is-
garbles on. Like she.
When Kelly talks, it's called white noise. This is the episode title: Tam Stamps and White Trash Noise. There you go.
There we go. That's it. Write that bitch down. Where's
Because
my
of your,
notebook go?
your dumpster chair.
Oh, my poor dumpster chair. You know what? Your new chair misses your ass. And my dumpster chair definitely has separation anxiety. I should have brought it. Would that not have been hilarious if I just pulled that fucking thing out? Jameson would have been like, what the fuck? Would Tam Stamps be one word or two?
I think it's two.
White trash noise.
There you go.
Why
But
are we so funny? Are
Ew. That one was scary. Do you have to delete that?
You're like, delete. Control Alt Delete. Like, TM. Just lighten the mood for you.
Talk about Jesiba.
Oh,
You want to?
Yeah, because she's mysterious.
Cool. There's a Reddit.
You know what? I'm going to lean back and...
There's a really cool Reddit thread about
Is there?
theories
Do you hear
on-
yourself
I
right now? You're like,
fucking
there's
hate
a
you.
really
You know
cool
what?
Reddit thread.
I
What, you
try
gonna
to
throw
be-
hands? You gonna throw hands? Oh.
Crack my knuckles into the mic.
Would that not have been like so good if you just had those in there? Connect.
I don't think I can do it. I mean,
I already did it earlier, so
it's not picking up. It's
no,
fine.
it's not picking up what you're throwing down, like you throw them hands down. Also, Warren was in here earlier
Oh God.
doing. He said, "Look, I'm doing a headstand, literally on my head," and like he didn't have this. It was. It was just his head down in the cushion, and then his back was against it, and he's holding his arms straight up.
Jesus.
I'm doing a headstand.
Okay, let's talk about Jesiba.
Okay.
There's a Reddit thread in the Crescent City SJM community.
Sure.
And it is by pretty_imagination62. And they say,
And they really missed out on that whole 69.
yeah.
Anyways.
They say, give me your best Jesiba theories. If she's someone we already met in the Massiverse, then who is she?
Great question.
Vane88 is she's a Vault Queen, like Maeve, but smarter. She doesn't feel the need to rule or have power. She's
But
simply
smarter.
content living in a world with air conditioning that is far removed from Orcus. She came up on Midgard and was discovered by Adis, who was blackmailing her to do his bidding with the agreement. I'm so good at reading.
She loves air conditioning in her apartment.
Jesus.
With her cat, Avis.
We don't have time to edit this, guys. So sorry. Who's
I'm literally going to edit this during book club.
Adis is blackmailing her to do his bidding with the agreement that he won't tell Orcus how and where to find her. And then Rooney Waslib. Oh, I'm so sorry. ROONILWAZLIB0. I still don't know how to say that.
No.
Anyways,
Not after the third time? You still don't know?
Right. They say, I weirdly want her to be more interesting than that. And I just think that's the best comment ever.
I weirdly want her to... You know what? She is.
It's like, I hear your theory and I hate it, but I don't want to flat out say that I hate it. So I'm going to say, I hope she's more interesting
Reddit
than your
users
shitty
supporting
theory.
Reddit users.
So
and I
funny.
don't...
But guess who else has commented on this Reddit thread?
It's our girl.
Our girl, Emmy Ego.
We love
I'm doing like spirit fingers
You
right
are.
now. I know
You
that
are.
you can't see me, but I've got the spirit fingers going for Emmy Ego.
You've got the spirit. How about you?
And Emily so generously has listed out things that we know about Jesiba. And I love this because if I had to do it for y'all, I would forget something.
If you had
So
to
I'm just
do it,
gonna
you
read
wouldn't
Emmy's.
have done it.
I'm going to read Emmy's and ignore my own.
Just like our
because-
summary notes.
You know what, Kelly? I got a lot on my plate. Okay.
I
I'm
laid
doing
out
the best I
I
can.
laid out everything that was on my plate too, and you said, "Wow, you're really going through it."
I was trying to be supportive without dismissing your feelings. Okay.
Tell me what Emmy said.
As a physical book lover, we've all found ourselves in major need of a bookmark when we've been rudely interrupted while reading. Interruptions like your job, your needy pets and family, or your spouse wanting to tell you all about a random thing that they've been doing, all while you're at a really good part. Don't they see that we're reading? And in those moments, we've all found ourselves having to grab for a receipt, a post-it note, a scrap of paper, or the absolute worst, dog-earing your page. Well, in those moments, Case Leatherworks has you covered. Their dog-ear bookmark fits perfectly over the corner of your page, so you never lose your place. Their products are made with top-grain American leather in a variety of colors, and you have the option to customize your bookmark with your initials. Along with their bookmarks, they offer a variety of home good products that's perfect for any reading nook. Support small business by visiting caseleatherworks.com, and our listeners will receive 10% off your first order by using code THEORIES at checkout. That's offer code THEORIES at caseleatherworks.com.
Emmy says, she's the one character I truly can't figure out. Here's what I think is important about her. Right at the start of CC1, it's mentioned that she powers the Antiquities Gallery with an old-fashioned generator and not the grid of First Light that the rest of the city relies on. So she knows about the Asteri and how they siphon away First Light, ? The Underking knows her by a different name. I'm obsessed with this one. I cannot get this out of my head. About the Underking?
Oh, yeah.
I think about that a lot.
Yeah, you do. You bring it up a lot.
She defected to House of Flame and Shadow, which is essentially the House of Hell, basically. And the conversation between her and Ada sounds as if they're close, so she allies with the Princes of Hell. I agree with you, Emily. Sounds like she's pretty close.
Emily could give you a platter of shit, and we would agree with her.
Probably.
She would be like, this is delicious. And you'd be like, abso-fucking-lutely, because
I believe you.
You're a genius.
Canon. She's said to be 400 years old, but she is clearly older than that, which makes me think she has been brought back using necromancy. Hypaxia also mentions that when you bring someone back to life, you may need to obtain a new body, so we may not know what she actually looks like. Bryce mentions that the house she's taken to in Prythian is decorated in the same manner as Jesiba's gallery and the Autumn King's study, which makes me think that she is from Prythian. She has been guarding the Parthos books, including the book that Feyre threw in the cauldron at the end of CC2. She turns people into animals, which is very Koschei-like. All right, so Emily says, so one theory I have is that she is Striga the Weaver.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've talked about that.
Yeah, and I stand with it.
I do too. I love this theory.
I stand with it. It makes so much sense.
But Emily has it in a much more cohesive and understandable, digestible.
Than our ramblings?
Yes.
Than our 1 a.m. ramblings?
So I'm going to read this.
Okay.
So one theory I have is that she is
Mm-hmm.
So one theory I have is that
that
she is Striga the Weaver from Prythian.
Mm-hmm.
The name Jesiba Roga is a different version of the name Baba Yaga, who was an infamous witch in Slavic folklore, one who was often known for her weaving. Striga also kept a house full of treasures and jewels and artifacts, which is kind of similar to Jesiba's own gallery, no? Mm-hmm. Striga also died on the same day that Feyre threw the Book of Breathings into the cauldron, and we know dead people travel through the cauldron, and that's where Amryn and Rhys were. So if anyone would have access to that book, it would be her. Also, right before she died, she made a bargain with Rhysand. The resulting tattoo of this bargain was a crescent moon.
Ooh.
I want a tattoo of a crescent moon so bad.
Can we go get one?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyways.
Jesiba
also gave Bryce the Archesian amulet, a symbol of 3 overlapping circles. This is the exact same symbol that the bone carver drew in the sand when he was talking about his siblings, Koschei and Striga. And most importantly, Striga also bled black blood, Volg. Jesiba, as we know, allies with the Hophass and the Princes of Hell, all likely Volg or Volg adjacent. She is also said to have a Reaper's voice, which is very Volg-like.
When does it change from when they describe her voice? Because wasn't there 2 different descriptions of her voice?
Yes, because in the beginning it says, when we're first introduced to her, it says she doesn't sound like a Reaper, and then later on it kind of likens her to a Reaper.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's like certain
situations where
I'm almost thinking maybe the more comfortable that she gets with Bryce, the more like...
Or threatening.
Yeah, the more like...
Depends on the nature of the conversation.
Yeah, which a lot of times I feel like she is definitely threatening Bryce.
Right. But then Emily ends this with saying, and yes, this means that there's some sort of timeline difference or time manipulation going on, but that's really not surprising given how many times SJM has given us hints about this, which I completely agree. Every time somebody climaxes or finds their mate or whatever. Like, they fall through time and space. And it's always, every time someone gets their rocks off, time stops, baby. They fall through time and space. And time and space are always mentioned together.
It's just too good. I can't. Oh, I think
How do
this
we
is
work
our
that
best
in the
version
title?
of this. Oh, that sound.
That was my back popping.
Okay. Not, did you fall through time and space whenever? Because that's what it sounded like.
Yep. And then Cassie_Grenier, GRENIER on Reddit says, okay, but wait, if Jesiba Roga is another name for Baba Yaga and SJM purposefully doesn't reuse names, could she somehow be related to Baba Yellowlegs or the witches of TOG somehow? I feel like that's too much of a coincidence with the similar name thing.
Facts.
Then Cassie comes back. Everything we know so far, or assume, the timelines from the stories are all pretty much the same. So everything is happening around the same time-ish because Jesiba has been in Midgard for so long. I'm assuming that she may have come over earlier. If she was a witch with the 13, she'd still be pretty recently arrived in Midgard. She's described so similarly to Manon, too. Physically and the grumpy take-no-shit personality. And the I don't care about you, but I'm going to keep you safe and help you even though I'm going to act like I can't stand you vibes.
Which is
me.
very, oh.
What were you going to say?
I was like, which is very Manon vibes.
Yeah.
Like.
And me.
And you, because you're a Scorpio.
Yeah.
So is she.
She says it may be stretching it here, but could Manon's mother have survived her supposed murder by the matron and ended up in Midgard instead? I don't know. I don't believe that.
I mean, I don't hate it, but I don't know.
I love it.
Yeah, it's not my favorite. Sorry, Cassie.
Sorry, Cassie. Actually, I didn't mean to read that quote by Cassie. I meant to read another one, which is the one I'm going to read you right now.
This is going so well.
We're so good at this. So this other person is like, OP by another name for, what do you mean? Like, it sounds like it, or just like, could it be related? Whatever. So then Cassie comes back and says, I actually wasn't sure. So I just looked it up and found this interesting. In Central and Eastern Europe, these figures include the Bulgarian Gorska Mika, mother of the forest, also the name of a flower, Hungarian Vasuru Baba, which means iron nose midwife, Serbian Baba Charisma.
Charismatic.
This one is called GVOZDENZUBA. Zvobindenzuba.
Mm-hmm.
That's iron teeth, which I thought that Sarah J. Maas made up the whole iron teeth thing. So
which is cool.
It's cool. So this was exciting to me to see that it's a thing.
Yeah.
Baba Roga is Bosnian, Croatian, North Macedonia, and Serbian to scare children.
Like me?
Yep. And then Slovenian, there's a Jaga Baba or Jezi Baba. Jezibaba. So,
you're making it up.
yeah.
There's no way it's that close.
So there's a Jezi Baba and a Baba Roga. So there you go. And those are all other names for
Jesiba
people which Striga is based off of. More proof.
More proof.
Here we go. PBG Hikes comes back and says, and it says she's known to dwell in a hut deep in the forest. Also, Jezi Baba phonetically sounds so much like Jesiba that I had to look deeper, and apparently she is a character in a Czech opera. Now I have to go read the whole plot synopsis. Update, it's the Little Mermaid. Jezi Baba helps a water sprite become human so that she can be with the human prince she has fallen in love with. Jezi Baba warns her that if he doesn't love her back, she will be doomed. Also, Czech Ariel must give up her voice. If the prince falls in love first, they're supposed to get married, but then he decides he likes another lady better and dumps her. She laments to her fate to Jezi Baba, who gives her a knife and tells her the only way she can avoid her doom is if she kills the prince. She refuses and throws the knife into the lake. Then she gets turned into a will of the wisp, which she's turning her into something else.
Exactly. It's all coming together.
It's all coming together. Then the dumb prince comes back because
I just love how she's like the dumb prince.
I love that. She was rejected by the other lady and is feeling guilty. Finds Czech Ariel and begs to kiss her. She's like, thanks to you, I'm a will-o-wisp now, and my smooches will kill you. He says it's a price he's willing to pay. They kiss and he dies in her arms.
He should.
So she says the lake is giving very Koschei, right? Wikipedia on Koschei has this interesting nugget. Koschei can represent an initially benevolent but later malevolent father to a bride figure. The parallel female figure, Baba Yaga, as a rule, does not appear in the same tale with Koschei, though exceptions exist where both appear together as a married couple or as siblings. So here we are with the Koschei, Striga, Baba Yaga sibling thing. Sometimes Baba Yaga as an old woman figure appears in tales along with Koschei as his mother or aunt. There we go.
His what?
Auntie.
Oh, his auntie.
Mm-hmm.
His aunt?
His aunt.
Okay.
I was trying not to sound like a hillbilly, but it's fine.
It's okay. Scroll down. Scroll back down a little bit, because there was one thing on one of the lists that Emmy... Oh, so because we don't really see a lot with necromancy too much in Crescent City. Not a whole lot, even though Hypaxia it's not ever been a prominent plot part. That little nugget has not really come to a head. But it is just really interesting because we have talked about wraiths and how Victoria, was trapped, basically imprisoned in that body and had to age and all of that with Micah. So then we get clued in on wraiths. And so when Jesiba came back, I guess could witches also be wraiths? Or... because that's what wraiths do. They rid old bodies and get new bodies whenever that old body has worn out.
Aren't Nuala and Caradon wraiths?
I think so. Also, how does that work? Is that body already dead? Somebody already dead? They murder somebody and then they nab it? How do they do that?
I don't know.
It's very body
what
snatchers.
What happens to the person that was already in there?
Right.
And because if the body's already dead, then what are you going to do? Reanimate it?
Yeah, I know, right? Is it somebody that, maybe in Crescent City World, somebody that made the drop that didn't make it back? So it's fresh and so clean.
So what is it? Just like
I don't know.
Are you on
I'm alarmed.
Donor list, waiting if you're like a soul? Just
I guess.
waiting for a new body to show up?
I guess. Hey, this one's getting...
I imagine them as like little
used
souls
car lot.
in the jars that Ursula has.
Oh my God, yes. Which is very Little Mermaid.
I need to look that up. Did I just come up with something?
Maybe.
Ursula souls jars.
Poor unfortunate souls. Oh, not literal jars. Google.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Ursula jars.
Yummy jars of poor unfortunate souls. It's like a cocktail.
Yeah, I mean, to Ursula, too.
Well, you start talking about your other stuff.
Oh, my God. Okay. So, another person that we just really don't know a whole fucking lot about is none other than the shitty friend, Fury. I mean, she getting awards. Okay. So, posted by none other than Emiego. Fury Axtar is suspicious. And not in a good way. She's sus.
That bitch is sus.
She's sus as shit. All right. So, Emily, I like how it is. I recently skimmed the 2 Crescent City books. So you skimmed like 1,500 pages.
I love her so much.
I just casually scrolled through, focusing solely on Fury. So
I wish you could look into someone's mind.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I was
bet that was
Edward
insane.
Cullen and I could read Emily's mind.
I wish that
you know how many people I already don't like? I bet I would dislike literally everyone if I could hear their thoughts.
Ew, yeah, no. You would hate me even more. And I'm actually not on the hate list, and you'd be like, can't.
I mean, that surprises me because I feel like most of your thoughts come out of your mouth.
Oh, no, you're right. Except for your butt looks really good in this.
I was just about to say, your thoughts would be like, the ones you're holding back are like, damn, her ass looks really good today. I was literally going to say that.
I've been sitting back here and I'm like, A, your posture looks great. B,
it does? I feel like I'm such like a hunchback shrimp.
No, you've been, because after you popped your back, fucking drop it. After you popped your back, because I've been leaned back in this couch,
yeah.
I was like, damn, look at that booty rocking everywhere.
Hey,
shit. Okay. Anyways. Yeah, no, you're right. They all do come out. So Emmy, you know what? I just imagine the way that her brain is, just speaking of thoughts, like SpongeBob when he's looking for the Krabby Patty recipe
All
you
the
go
drawers,
inside of his
like
brain.
on fire.
It's all the file cabinets, all the SpongeBobs, and yes, and then it's on fire. Except I think only part of it is on fire because of the House of Flame and Shadow, and then the rest of it is... Yeah, you were supposed to laugh at that, but anyways.
Not all of your jokes are good. Just so you know.
It did not land. It actually just fell fully flat. Okay. Anyways, Emmy Ego, because she's a bad bee, Fury acts to her as suspicious and not in a good way. So again, she skimmed through and that she's very wary of Fury, which who isn't? Fury was conveniently sent on a mission to CCU at the same time Bryce started there. Fury also instructed Jesiba to hire Bryce, which one, why would Jesiba listen to Fury? Yeah, who the fuck is this bitch? And two, it shows us that from day one, Fury has been meddling in Bryce's life for reasons still unknown. God, you meddling kids. And your fucking dog, too. Get out of there. On the day of Danica's death, Bryce explicitly asked Fury not to give her drugs that would make her hallucinate. Yet Fury did anyways, like a fucking bitch. Emily didn't say that. I added in. I interjected. As a result, Bryce was too incapacitated to see clearly what happened to Danica and to remember key events. Following this, the White Raven is bombed. Fury says very confidently that the human rebels were behind the bombing, but that the specifics are classified. But then later, Micah admits that he actually orchestrated the attack. So why would Fury lie? Because she's a lying liarson. That's why.
I hated that the first 2 times you said it.
I'm going to keep saying it.
I'm glad it's over now.
All right, I'll let you have a lull before I say it again. Weirdly, Fury is also seen to push Bryce along, like off a cliff. Oh, no. Do you think she would?
If given the opportunity, probably.
Just to push her off the cliff. What if she would have been inside of that helicopter at the end of Earth and Blood? Do you think she would have been like... It would have been like Emperor's New Groove, where it just gets chucked out and he's like, sorry, as he's falling down. You know what I'm talking about? Nope.
No.
Okay. Well, great. That's a missed reference.
Sorry.
You threw off the Emperor's Groove. God. As an example, when Hunt is taken by Sandriel, Fury goes to Bryce's house with the sole purpose of telling her this. Yet even Bryce questions Fury's motives and asks her why she would tell her this information, knowing full well she'd go after Hunt, as if Fury wanted Bryce to do that. Bitch.
Fury is just like the Asteri who uses other people to do their bidding. She pushed her into that. She didn't make the decision. She didn't get involved in the messiness of it. She had Bryce do it.
I'm a people pusher. I push people. Fury is Regina George.
What was her name in that movie?
Regina George.
No, the teacher. She's a drug pusher.
She pushes people. Oh, it was Tina Fey.
Yeah. I was just trying to figure out what they wrote in the book.
Which part?
That's you're confusing the line. You're mixing the people pusher thing with she's a life ruiner. She ruins people's lives.
Oh yeah, which
I was
also
like, that's
Fury.
not hitting right.
Also Fury.
Yeah.
Actually, Fury falls under. Think of any Mean Girls quote, and that's probably Fury.
I love it.
Okay. Fury is invited to the Pangerian Summit, but no one knows why, and is seemingly friends with many high-ranking people, including the Asteri. She's probably sleeping with all of them. Also, weirdly, what?
They can't get off of their
If they can't get
light
off
toilets. Like
their light toilet.
that's. I just imagine it like that. Like it
shoots up their asshole.
Yeah. That's what I imagine. I mean, she describes it as like they're like sitting on thrones with light coming in underneath it. How else are you supposed to imagine it?
They're sitting on a throne of lies.
It's like an electric bidet. You said reverse bidet, and the other it's like an electric one.
Yeah, electric touch, if you will.
Yeah, that's the first light going up.
That was also a Taylor Swift reference. So.
Huh?
It's a vault track, electric touch.
Oh,
but imagine, SJM's obvious. I mean, she told us she was a Swiftie, so that's. Anyways, she knew about the vault track before the vault track knew about her. Eh? Yeah. Also, weirdly, the Viper Queen obeys Fury's orders because we know I love the Viper Queen. I don't love her, but she's intriguing. Fury is able to give Bryce a map of the Asteri Palace. How? Sorry, Emily. Emily was, how does she know this information? Kelly is, how? And most suspiciously of all, don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. At the end of CC1, Fury is in her helicopter and uses the communication system in an attempt to send out an order to the Asteri personal army. Who else could command the Asteri's army than the Asteri themselves? Fury's name literally means angry star. I just think angry birds. Combined with all the above points, could Fury be one of the 5 other Asteri?
Maybe.
Because when you think about it, people can detect that Fury possesses power, but nothing about her appearance gives away anything. She actually appears human, but isn't the same for Regelius, who appears as a 17-year-old boy? Just so weird to me.
Yeah.
I don't like sitting next to you. I can't look you in the eyes when... Also, I just feel like that you're constantly side-eyeing me.
I am.
Jesus Christ. Okay. We are also told that Danica, quote, scented whatever Fury is and, quote, confronted her. But for Danica to confront Fury, doesn't that suggest that something about her power is bad? Similarly, why would SJM hide Fury's powers? The power of every single other character is revealed. Kind of like fucking last names in ACOTAR. Where are they at? We don't have Cassians either. We don't have Asriel's either. Anyways, that better be revealed real soon.
Asriel Axtar.
What a name. Even those who...
I mean, she named a character...
Moonbeam.
No.
Oh.
Lorcan Locket. Lord
Lorcan Locken.
Lord Lorcan Locken. So...
No, you're right. Oh.
The first time I was reading Throne of Glass and I got to Baba Yellowlegs, I was like, okay.
And then now you see the lore of it and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Anyways, did you imagine that she had like jaundiced?
Yes.
Me too.
Honestly, yes. And I thought, this woman definitely has like scabs. She's definitely gross.
Yes. They're real skinny, like
Yeah.
rod thin.
Knobby.
Yes, 100%. Very scurvy-ish. Like,
I tell Warren all the time. I'm like, you have got to eat a vegetable. You're going to get rickets. He's that's not real. I'm like, yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Okay. Okay. Even those with more ominous powers, such as Hypaxia being a necromancer, as such, there has to be a big reveal tied to Fury's true identity. However, the only thing that gives me pause is that Fury still clearly cares for Bryce, and she evidently loves Juniper, unless that's just a front. Could she be an Asteri rebelling against her own people? Or alternately, could she be affiliated with Hell? A princess of Hell, maybe?
This is someone I like.
So many options, but until CC3 is released, she says, I remain skeptical. To follow that up, I have another Fury theory. What is Fury Axtar? It's a nice follow-up, also by Emiego.
Yep.
This podcast is sponsored by Emiego.
We would have run out of content weeks ago if it wasn't for Emily jumpstarting all of our brains and our hearts.
Yes.
And our minds.
My soul. Okay. Fury Axtar. Princess and Valkyrie of Hell.
Yep. This is the one I love.
Yep. Fury Axtar is one of the most mysterious characters in the
like
Crescent
the
City
third time
world.
I'm hearing it now.
And you still love it.
I
all the
still love
same.
it.
Yes. Well, this is the first time that they're hearing it. And you know what? They're going to love it just
Because we
the
are
same.
good at our job.
We're so good.
Okay.
Oh, my God. Okay. Fury Axtar is one of the most mysterious characters in the Crescent City world. We don't know her age, her species, her power, or her house. If she even has one. She's definitely a Slytherin. This all... That's the crossover that we need.
I know you're being a hater right now and like shitting on Slytherin, but you know what?
No, I was 50% Gryffindor, 50% Slytherin, and I got to pick. And of course I was like, Gryffindor! But really now I'm like, that was like 5 or 6 years ago whenever I really did that. And I'm like, maybe I was wrong.
You just want to be like me.
Be a Gryffindor?
I'm a Slytherin.
Oh.
I don't know what any of this shit means, but that's what I know.
Oh. I mean, you're Draco Malfoy. I know you don't know what that means. Anyways.
Isn't he the one in that new book that everybody's obsessed with?
What new book?
Manacled or something like that?
Oh, yeah, which is very good, by the way.
I mean, I'll get
it's
there
fanfic, but anyways. We have to read Harry Potter first.
I know. I want to read it with my child. I want to experience that with him. I've never read it. When I do read it, I want to do it together.
Okay. I mean,
he says he's not ready. We talk about it a lot. With the Barnes & Noble sale recently.
Yeah.
I was like, should we get it and start it? And he's, I don't think I'm ready. And then I picked up like the illustrated version and opened it, and there was like a freaky picture. He's like, "Oh, I'm scared. I don't want to read that." I'm like, "Oh,
Man, and Jim K really nailed it with those illustrations too. Anyways, it's all right. He'll be ready. And when he's ready, I will be there too. I'll be creeping in behind my dink self, just looking.
Did you see these?
Fury Axtar is one of the most mysterious characters in the Crescent City world. We don't know her age, her species, her power, or her house. Oh, I already read this. This already sets off alarm bells and tells us that she is likely something we haven't encountered before. What's more is that Fury seems to have significant overarching powers. She has allies in both the Asteri Senate and then higher up in the rebel cause, so no real allegiance to either side. She has a license to kill in a whole variety of different countries, and everyone fears her. We also see Fury attend the Valbaran Summit, an event for the country's most powerful and influential leaders, and yet Fury also attends alone. It's very strange. And she sits in the third circle, and they attest that as like the third circle of hell, because that's how they describe it.
Who's the third prince of hell? We don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
What level is Thanatos?
4th.
Damn.
I know.
Okay.
Some assume that Fury and Amryn must be connected, and while that could be true, it's important to note that Amryn purposely modeled her appearance off the people from Zion in the Akatar world. Thus, that's not actually Amryn's true form. Instead, I think the biggest clue is to what Fury is lies in her name. The Furies. Emily believes that the Furies is just as the name suggests. She is one of the Furies. In Greek mythology, the Furies were essentially the female assassins of hell. Sounds pretty similar. They lived in the underworld, but would ascend to Earth to kill those who had committed sins. Oh, we'd all be fucking screwed. Evidently, this aligns perfectly with what we know about our own Fury, who is also an assassin, as she regularly undertakes mysterious missions to kill certain people off all around the world. Under whose command? We still don't know. Although from different mythologies, the Furies and the Valkyries are very similar. And for the sake of comparison, I think this is exactly what Fury is. She is a member of Hell's Valkyries, a warrior woman of Hell. Most importantly, the Furies were winged creatures, although various strains of mythology describe the Furies in various ways, with some even noting that they have bat wings. An overarching theme is that the Furies are, quote, bird-like. It's then perhaps that there is no coincidence that SJM's now deleted Pinterest board, but not Liv's. Liv's got that Pinterest board.
I'm just going to give in. I love Pinterest. Okay.
There it is. That's all we've been waiting for you to admit. Liv's love for Pinterest, and then now, SJM gave up on it. She was like, these people are insane. Various images of a half-bird woman were specifically tagged as inspiration for Fury's character. And as a cherry on top, the Furies were known for wearing all black clothing. Just like Fury. Literally, that bitch wears like leather pants and combat boots in the middle of the summer. How's she regulating that temperature?
Yeah.
I'd be dead.
Maybe she is dead.
Maybe she's a wraith.
Do they not feel in the body that they're in?
I don't know.
She's more than a wraith.
No, I'm talking about how she's a Fury.
Yeah, I know.
She's an angry star.
Patrick.
I was thinking like 1-star review, but also angry Patrick star. Oh, Thunderbird? ?
The only problem I have with that is that if that is true, why would the Asteri not just kill her? That the only problem I have with any of the theories about Fury as to what I love the Princess of Hell thing, but I'm also like, is she like the combination of a Princess of Hell and an Asteri or something? What would be the purpose of the Asteri letting her live if she is so feared and so, you know what I mean?
I'm picking her with her now. I don't know. But you want to hear how she could possibly be a Thunderbird?
Yes.
Okay. Given the above bird-like description, it makes Emily think, are the Thunderbirds the same SJM has given for the Furies? We know that the Thunderbirds were seen as a great threat to the Asteri, which suggests that they could be affiliated with Hell. We also know that Sophie could shift into her Thunderbird form, but otherwise looked human, hence why she remained undetected, and that sounds an awful lot like Fury. And when you really think about it, we have only ever heard of female Thunderbirds, Sophie and Sophie's grandmother. Further, it was stated in Sky and Breath that there seems to be a connection between the Thunderbirds and the Dust Court. Given that Fury's last name, Axtar, means star, are the Thunderbirds the protectors of the Starborn?
Ooh, I love that. Because that's a very Bryson Hunt, too.
Uh-huh.
I love Bryson Hunt.
And maybe that's like why whenever Fury was being a huge bitch
You
about
said furry.
why Furry was being a huge bitch and was like, hey, so like they like got Hunt.
So do we have like 32 days until Flame and Shadow?
Tomorrow's the 30th.
Doing a dance, but you can't see it.
Yeah, I can. And your butt still looks great.
Yeah.
Just as Apollyon and Adis also appear to be protecting the Starborn, Hunt has similar powers too and is referred to as Bryce's, quote, knight.
Yes.
Yes. And then we go to Hell, capital H, 1L. Whatever the exact name or classification, I am sure that Fury reports to Hell. Not only for the reasons above, but for the myriad of clues throughout the text. In Earth and Blood, we witness the Viper Queen obey Fury's orders, something that evidently shocked Bryce. In Sky and Breath, it's noted that the Viper Queen's blood is darker than normal, which has led many to believe that she is Vogue. I also think that the Princes of Hell are Vogue, and that Hell is the Vogue homeworld. Emily says, I don't have space to explain here, but that she has a separate theory about this in a subreddit.
Emily's like, I don't have the capacity to explain to you morons.
Right.
The complex
like,
thoughts that I have.
I've already done it once, and I'm not doing it again.
I love her so much.
Thus, the Viper Queen, who is likely Vogue and connected to Hell, obeying Fury indicates that Fury is also connected to Hell. God, I really feel like I said Hell like a lot. Fury was sent on a mission to Crescent City University and then coincidentally became friends with Bryce and Danica. Fury practically forced Jesiba to hire Bryce as her assistant, and in the final Earth and Blood chapters, Fury walks up to Bryce's apartment and informs her that Hunt has been given to Sandriel, knowing full well that this would spur Bryce on to act fast, something Bryce even notes as suspicious, and she questions, if you're so concerned that I'll do something stupid, why tell me at all? Thus, I think Fury has been tasked to watch over and protect Bryce, and to push her in certain directions, under the directions of someone from Hell, likely Apollyon. This quote, Fury Axtar emerged from the shadows beyond the crates of synth. Bryce didn't question how Fury arrived without even Micah noticing, or how she knew to come. Fury was liquid night. She made herself famous for knowing the world's secrets. Fury weirdly disappears after Danica's death and wouldn't answer Bryce's calls for 2 whole years, which is so shitty. Fury gives an excuse that she was sad and busy with work. But something makes me think she was in Hell, or was traveling backwards and forwards between the two, as I can't imagine there'd be great cell phone reception in the pits of the underworld. Emily, you're funny. Princess of Hell. I'm not sure that Fury is just one of Hell's warriors. I think there's more to her story. Recall that in Akawar, we have this quote, Lord Thanatos is having difficulties with his daughter again. Knowing that these worlds are connected, I doubt that this is just a fun coincidence. Instead, it suggests that Thanatos, the 4th Prince of Hell, has a presence in the Akatar world, and also has a daughter, something that SJM wouldn't mention for no reason, except it's all filler. It's all filler.
All of it.
When we meet Thanatos in Sky and Breath, he is described as having black hair and dark eyes, a contrast to the other princes of Hell, and Vogue princes that we have met before who almost always opt for blonde hair. But this is just like Fury's own coloring. Thanatos is also seen to be wearing head-to-toe black armor, which evidently reminds me of Fury's own clothing. Thus, believe that Fury is Thanatos' daughter, which, fun fact, works well with the mythology of the Furies, as they were oftentimes said to be the daughters of Thanatos. So, depending on how royal titles in Hell works, this presumably makes Fury a princess of Hell. Ta-da! This one comment that I really liked, and this is Mama Dramas. It says, I also just noticed the similarities between the mercenary in the beginning of Thorns and Roses and Fury. Someone said they thought maybe the Merc was Reese's sister or Cassian's mom, and now I'm wondering if Fury is. Plus, the fun little note I took of the name of the creature that bit the mercenary, a Martax. It's almost an anagram of Axtar.
Dun, dun,
Da.
dun.
Which we have definitely been curious about who the fuck that mercenary knows more. And that character just came and went too fast. Almost like the deaths of the Bone Carver and Striga, where it's like...
It's not even that she like came and went fast that makes me recall and think about it. It's the way that she gives Feyre more money than Feyre thinks she deserves for that pelt or whatever. And she's like, someone else helped me. So that's what kind of sticks out in my brain. Oh, yeah. Who was that?
Right.
What'd you do? What'd you need?
Because mercenaries, they just want to make as much money as they can. So...
What's the deal?
Right. And so if Fury really does care for like Juniper, R.I.P. Juniper in the future, or Bryce, it's such an obscure way of showing that you just care, where it's just kind of like, oh, I'm going to do something subtle, pay you more for a wolf pelt. But also, if Fury knew that wolf pelt was a Fae, was like a Fae sentry.
Or Fury knows that Bryce is going to need Feyre someday, so she has to hurry up and go.
Right.
Go save Feyre.
She's like, hey,
Send her
Daddy,
over the wall.
I'm really fucking mad at you, so I'm going to go beep boop, like, over to Prithian. I'll be back to hell in a minute.
Yeah.
2 years pass?
That's too much.
2 years pass?
How much do you think we're going to get in Flame and Shadow? Not enough. I know that, but
Oh, I mean, we've been told that it's the conclusion of Bryce and Hunt.
If
however
Hunt
that
Abelard
concludes.
dies,
However that concludes.
I send it back.
Is Crescent City considered romantasy? Is that what genre it actually is considered? Because I ask this only for the sake of finding out, because Raven Kennedy, so like her Plated Prisoner series, you know that I love. So I'm not through Gold yet, but she had to extend it to a 6th book from the 5th book. And people are like, hi, question. Is this going to be a happily ever after? And Raven's like, well, the book is considered a romantasy book, and romantasy always ends in an HEA.
I don't know if that's like definitive, but Sarah has said that she loves an HEA, so that gives me hope.
But I think for it to be classified as a romantasy, that's what Raven Kennedy said. For it to be classified as, instead of just, otherwise it would just be fantasy.
I feel like these genres are kind of bullshit anyways.
Well,
I mean, I don't think it has to be the ending. I feel like as long as it's got like a prominent love story, they can say it's a romantasy, which is fucking made up in the last couple of years anyways.
is it?
Yes. You know why it is? Because women have become really big time fantasy readers now, and men don't like that they're not topping the fantasy charts anymore. So they're like, you know what? Let's make a separate list and push these women over here and give them a douchey name like romantasy, so it doesn't sound real, and we'll make a fantasy and it can't include a love interest. So now they've pushed women out of the categories, because God forbid a woman beat a man at literally fucking anything. But you know what?
No, you're right.
I could go on about this, but I'm not going to, because we have book club soon and I want to be in a good mood. But in order to do that, I need to smash the patriarchy.
Fuck the patriarchy. But anyways, did you have anything?
No, we got to stop.
Jesus Christ.
Are
Thanks
we-
for listening.
Thank you so much for listening.
Check out our bonus episodes of Crescent City, because now we are moving into House of Sky and Breath chapter recaps. And that is not right after this episode today, because this one's already late. However, those will pick back up next week. We do have one out for the last part of Earth and Blood that Liv took one for the team, and
You're going to love it.
re-recorded the whole thing. She loved every second of it.
I
Just
did.
for you.
Really, I think that I might just take over the podcast from now on.
I know that you tried to kill me so you could push me out. I already
It's
know.
all coming together, folks.
Follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at A Court of Theories. You can follow us on our personal pages, slide right into our DMs, or email us your theories at acourtoftheories@gmail.com. Thanks so much again for listening, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Okay, love you, bye.
Love you, bye. We did it.